I'm just calling in Kuan Yin as a transmission today to offer some guidance on how to step into the fifth dimension and how to raise the frequency to the eighth dimension of love light. And presence come out of the go to the eighth dimension. I could to ama ashot to Omanakakuto, Emma Ashota, Amanakakurukuto, Oma Ashota, Ama Atakuraka. Oh, I said that Ma Chama, I thought I am a Mahayota, or Hitawama, and Tahama. I shot at Amahato Hamaha, so Hadmanoida, Shotomahatoya. What got the Mamma? I thought Ama, oh, you thought I shot at Ama at the Oitoma, I shot at Ama. Oh, I said that the Kurmata should Omakata away Tamaya doya Mata Umaraki to Kurko Ayo no ma. I thought Amaka I know Yamayo to I thought I said oh yeah. I thought I'm the ayo to ama I the ayo oma I the ayo the ama I the korayo to ma oh yeah so the ama ayo ma ayo the ama ayo oh yeah the ayo ma ayo the ma ayo ma ayo ayo to I thought ma ayo ma yo no ma yo the ama the to ma I thought the ama yo ma head to hayo. So to children, it is very hard this time that things are happening very rapidly, and therefore it is so important to slow down and look very slowly. Do not get too caught up in the chaos, and only keep still. They say the calm in the storm is so important right now. You cannot change what is happening outside, for it is so important to stay in here, in heart, mind, and to keep very still and quiet. That is my message to you that are struggling with this chaos. And now I ask you to come into the heart and listen to your own inner knowing that this too shall pass. It is only temporary, and therefore there is no need to get caught up every time something doesn't feel right for you. You don't need to think like everybody or what is right for you. Your heart is love. Come back to love and don't ever change your connection to me or to God. Whatever brings you peace, just listen to you, to your heart, to your higher self, and stay close to love that all the matter. Yeah, don't take too much on. 1 minute, bit by bit. Oh, thank thank you. I want to say I love you all. And I know it is always going to feel heavy sometimes, but you need to stay very close, inside, outside, lie, inside, truth. I am present. It's commanded that I come back from the 8th dimension back into the 3rd dimension. Now show me. Thank you, Kuan Yin. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Whew. I haven't expected that one. Wow. That was the divine Kuan Yin. So thank you, thank you. I think there's something there for all of us. There is so much chaos right now, and it really is about coming back to the heart and coming back to love. And that frequency is in the 5th dimension, where we can just pull back and observe and practice discernment, practice compassion and forgiveness. And the 3 key flames or wisdom for Kuan Yin is always about the mercy, the compassion, and that inner wisdom and love, unconditional love. And, there's a lot that we're getting told that we have to do, and we have to do, and have to do. And what I realised is like we're in one big game. And depending on where you're at in your state of consciousness will determine your reality. So for me this week, when I talked to you last Thursday, I was like on a high. I was like, yeah, I've got this information. And then Friday just all came downhill when there was this directive announcement. I'm not going to name the person. And that sort of shattered, and I was just like, oh, there goes my reality. But it's been interesting this week, because as I've had to start making decisions, I started to own my decisions rather than feel like I'm being told what to do. So when I started to make decisions based on my pure pro-choice and conscious choice, it started to shift. And when I started to express it with people that needed to know, sorry, I had to stop the video, my daughter came in. So what I was trying to express is that when I started to make decisions that were purely from a pro-conscious way of being, and knowing that this is how I want to see my reality, I started to notice the difference in people's response to it. It was really interesting, because when I was in resistance, it was like resistance and this sense of urgency was coming to me. But when I started to express my authentic self, the weight lifted off, and there was this almost like respect that I was receiving, and this sort of grace period to decide where I'm going right now. And I also noticed that time started to slow down. When I was having these long chats with people to sort of nut it out and to discuss, this is where I'm thinking and this is where I'm heading, it was like all the emails stopped coming through, as if God was just giving me a space to do what I had to do. And what I've noticed, like with people that I listen to, like spiritual sort of gurus that I sort of, like listening to their work, we're in this like a portal where time is speeding up and slowing down. And there is a lot of polarity. Like when you sit in the 4D, you start to see the polarity. But as I sort of made my thoughts out loud and expressed it to those, they sort of just went, oh, okay. And then just left it. And it's like, oh, okay. Like if I never said anything, there would be like, well, what's she going to do? What she's going to do? So I kind of feel better now that I have spoken my truth, because now it's like, okay, that's done and dusted. And now there's something else that's big. So it's like this month, it's definitely game on. And I think it also depends like how you respond to it. So sometimes I get fired up and I know I'm in the 4D and the 3D, like I'm in ego. And then a moment I step back and ask myself, well, is it affecting me right now? And if I say no, it's a future worry, like it's not a present worry, then I'm just back in the 5D where I can just sit with peace and I can sit with this quiet stillness. And that's the place I need to be, because I find that's where I make the best decisions and the insight come. But the insight won't come to me if I'm flustered and agitated. Anyway, so what I did, I asked for Kuan Yin obviously to come through, because the last few sessions I have just been doing my own sort of light language, probably connected to my soul. But I really wanted Kuan Yin because there is this maternal feminine energy that I feel is needed right now. We are so heavy and embedded in this masculine energy, and it's really putting a lot of us in fear. But I've worked out the game. The game is not to step into fear. The kryptonite for you as your own superhero, your kryptonite is love frequency and light, because light will always shine on darkness and always dim the darkness, right? So I figured out the game. I figured out the loopholes. I've worked out the cheat, the way to jump levels. It's really weird. But that's what I feel like at the moment. We are all playing certain avatars and we're all at different levels of the game. Or you can see it as like one big board game. It's like snakes and ladders. You think you're climbing up the ladder and everything's good, and then some snake comes along and then you just sort of go and you just come back down, 5 or 6 steps back, and it's this constant battle. But this is part of the ascension process. There's no doubt of my mind that this is definitely got to do with the great reset or the awakening that many of us are in. I mean, I've had many awakenings, so this is just the extra one for me. But for those of us that have never experienced an awakening, it's quite shocking. And we're all getting triggered. The inner child is getting triggered. We're probably feeling it in your sacral area. I definitely have been. I'm getting butterflies and feeling a bit scattered. And then when I sort of come back with my decisions or what's my next move, I'm just like back in and I'm grounded again and very wholesome. So when I shuffled the cards, I got this one, number 11, which is Enter the Jade Temple, it's a beautiful thing because we're going through some sort of portal, aren't we? It's a portal of pain. Hopefully I want to enter the Jade Temple. That's where I want to be. So Kuan Yin, in her temple of peaceful jade, causes all conflict to elevate to higher peaceful resolution. A resolution and healing of any situation that is concerning you is already underway. In fact, you are being asked to begin to feel the relief of that resolution now, so you can more readily receive the divine solution and blessing of peace from the beloved Kuan Yin when it arrives. There are moments on the path where conflict arises and struggles emerge. These conflicts may be within us or appear to be an external situation or relationship or situation. This can be part of the experience of life on the physical plane that actually helps us raise our vibration to find unity and still honor our individuality. There is a spiritual light within, a light of peace that can be brought to bear on any situation or struggle, an energy of peace that can transform even the deepest conflict through blessings of the divine goddess, priestess, or the Jade Temple Kuan Yin. Peace does not mean avoiding conflict
or pretending that struggle does not exist. Peace is the flow, or the light that flows when we are able to step above the illusions of separation, competition, and conflict, to seek out the consciousness where we are, in fact, all one in the divine love, and we are all serving the path of light in our own unique ways together. The energy of a higher level of genuine consciousness is transformative. It allows us to surrender judgment and to release any need to prove ourselves or our worth to another. Indeed, we can just live our lives and allow others to do the same with more peace in our hearts. Conflict becomes an opportunity to grow more in the inner peace and loving acceptance of all paths, to learn detachment and to trust. It takes a mature soul to call in peace, because it's not a way to avoid conflict, it's a way to use conflict as a spiritual tool through which to grow and become bigger than the conflict, to make allowance for each being to choose their own way to grow and to call forth the spiritual genius of the divine that is able to provide solutions that can bring peace to all. The divine goddess speaks to you now and says that your resolution is assured. Have faith, be prepared, and surrender your viewpoint and receive a new one that will serve you and bring you to a peace at a higher level of reality. It is no longer about right or wrong. It is now about stepping up into the peace and resolution. More joy and more delight. You are so capable of this, and you will enjoy the wonder of the healing process as you surrender into the Jade Temple, the place of peace over which Kuan Yin presides as priestess and guide. She bestows healing blessing on your life situation. This oracle is confirmation that if you have been struggling, a time of respite and peace is on its way to you swiftly now. The prayer. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Shanti, Om Shanti. May all beings know peace, deep peace and blessings of beloved priestess of peace, Kuan Yin. May all the heart of all conflict be resolved in the Jade Temple. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Shanti, Om Shanti. So that is my message today. I really wanted to ask for Kuan Yin to come through with this transmission. I don't often do it. I've stopped doing it for probably a few weeks now, but I felt that I just wanted to connect with her and see what message she could tell us. So take it or leave it, but good luck and blessing and love and light to all of you. Namaste.